Coaching is a topic that may not be as commonly discussed these days, but coaching is a lifesaver for many. Allow me to share some insights on the research conducted in this field. In the Journal of Organizational Culture Communications and Conflict, Dr. Adriana Elides of Cornell University did a study of coaching, looking at the history, and she discusses the evolution of the profession. She indicates that coaching is now a well-established component of the corporate environment, serving as a constructive approach to effective, positive change. She also points out that it has been increasingly implemented in a variety of industries and taught at universities across the globe. Dr. Elides points out that coaching is a field that has expanded into a diverse range of specialized areas and subfields. These include business coaching, which focuses on professional development, personal coaching, which addresses the individual growth, and life coaching, which encompasses various aspects of life beyond one's career, such as the quality of life, interpersonal connections, personal identity, and transformation. I am excited to introduce to my guest, Majida Benali. Majida, who's an experienced coach with over 10 years of experience in the field, is here to talk to us about how she, over the years, have guided clients in not only their lifestyles, but also with stylish outfits. With 2 decades of experience in customer service, business management, she was the top salesperson nationwide for a prestigious American company and specializes in manufacturing high-end men's clothing and shoes. I want to welcome Majida.
Hi.
Hi, Majida. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about this topic.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Yes, it's wonderful. So, did I overlook anything in my introduction about coaching?
Actually, you were pretty generous. You gave an ample idea about what coaching business is about.
I'm curious to find out what made you want to become a coach. When did it all start for you?
Do you really want to know?
I really want to know.
Okay, well, it all started, believe it or not, by having 3 major events in my life. Number 1 was the death of my father. And the second one, losing my job. That was a career for me. And the third one, my divorce. And with all these changes and altering life situations, I found myself lost. Lost, and also I could not reach to anyone that would, give me, for instance, your family or friends. They're not impartial. They're not impartial. And I wanted this objective, point of view, a lens that is professional, that can help me grow and get through this hardship, right? So what I did, as a matter of fact, I did a lot of search as far as finding a therapist, because I felt inside me that something was not right. It really wasn't. I was lost. And for me, finding a therapist, it's a challenge in itself. Coming from the background that I'm coming from, the culture that I'm coming from, and all these aspects made it even more challenging to find a therapist and connect with them, Because for me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to find a therapist, and then, okay. But then she's not from my culture. She's not going to understand what I'm talking about. So here comes the work, and here comes the search, and here comes the digging and all the yummy and the ugly stuff, And then finally, I came across this wonderful, amazing therapist in New York City, but she was extremely expensive. And I'm like, oh my God, how can I handle all this in the middle of all this, losing my job and not being able to provide for the necessities and having a therapist? But I knew I needed to have one because I was completely devastated. So luckily enough, the therapist was very understanding, And she was telling me that she could, instead of having the sessions every week, we'll do it bi-weekly. And then also, little did I know that she was in my city back home, Meknes. And she knew and she was very familiar with the culture. And she helped me tremendously, really tremendously. And every penny I spent in these sessions were so worthwhile. And from there, I got interested, like I got a lot more fascinated in this word. And meanwhile, I went back to school after my divorce. I graduated for business, bachelor in business management. And but I started off as human services because I wanted to help women. I wanted to help people out there because I didn't want no one to feel what I was feeling. But then I wasn't ready, nor emotionally, nor mentally, to handle the the draining aspect of human services. Then I switched to business management. So then I graduated, but while I was in the university, there were some resources in the university that you can use as a student to help yourself, better yourself, you know, be happier. And there were coaches there. And I actually jumped on the occasion because they were not as expensive as anywhere else. And I connected with this coach. Unfortunately, she's no more with us, but she's an amazing, beautiful soul. She actually helped me through my transition and through my career and being that lift that I needed, given the fact that I was by myself and completely by myself, physically and mentally, because all my family isn't here. And the friend that I had went different ways after my divorce. And she was there to actually guide me and, help me overcome the transition, overcome my transition from school, because the fact that I have never been to school here in the United States is also a challenge in itself.
Where are you originally from?
I'm Moroccan.
Wow.
Yes. Have you been?
I don't think I've ever met someone from Morocco. So this
I'm
is a
glad I'm the
pleasure.
first one.
Yes.
I hope I'm going to be the good one to give you an idea, or rather incite you to go and visit this
I would
beautiful
love to.
country. Yes, I would love you to go because you're going to have just an amazing time. And knowing you with your love of culture and
Yes.
diversity, and really, I'm sure it's gonna be great for you.
I would love to take that offer. What I've noticed in some of the stuff you shared already, I'm noticing a theme here, or a pattern, that one, major life events forced you to seek the help that you needed. And as a result of that, with the change I want to talk about a little bit, you said, your father had passed away, you went through a divorce, and you didn't feel like you had that kind of support that would have helped you through that process. So as a result, you sought help, which is the first thing, right? Because sometimes people find it a little difficult to go outside of their community to seek the help. And culture plays a role into that, and what people feel comfortable with. Talk a little bit about that. Some cultures may not feel that this is for them, like coaching is not something that they feel comfortable with.
Interesting. Well, you're absolutely right, and you're definitely not wrong about this because in our culture, unfortunately, our main concern is to find a job, pay a bill, be a wife, and live your life just like anyone else. And for them to embrace the idea of either therapy or coaching, it's just like, what? I mean, seriously, what are you talking about? We gave you all this and we gave you all the love and we gave you, and you are seeking. Is it something about us? So it's always about them. And they think that it's because you're missing something, but we all are.
Yes, yes.
So this thing actually that I really want to do in the future is actually inviting my beautiful people, my culture, to really embrace this word, because it's truly not a luxury. It's a must, you know?
That's a wonderful way to put it. And I think that you're right. Oftentimes, people are they feel that if they failed, or and if they share that with their family and friends, they, especially depending again on the culture, going back to culture, that certain cultures believe that you should be able to figure this out, right? Because we gave you all of the foundations of growing up. We provided for you. And anything outside of that, where you feel like you have to reach out to someone else other than your family, that's
It's a taboo.
taboo. Yeah,
You got it.
yeah.
It is truly is. And luckily enough, I don't know if that's where you're going, but I'm gonna allow me to assume.
Please do.
Luckily enough, I grew up in a family that is kind of like paradoxal in a way. My mom is the traditional Moroccan woman in her beautiful, amazing way. And my dad is the westernized, that been around with her too, but she's still into her roots. Right. Him was, introduced to the Western world in early age. He spoke fluent English, French, Germany, Spanish. He was really, really open, and I think I got that from him. And I've always had this privilege, in a way, to see where I want to be. Because I had my mom, that beautiful, amazing woman that does everything to make her family happy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then my dad, who's like encouraging us to go outside and find jobs and do things and don't depend on us. You get me?
Yes.
So I guess that's where I was open more so than any other Moroccan.
Got it.
To the idea of going and exploring other avenues and breaking the law.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what I like about what you said also is that because when you reach out for help, right? You definitely was looking for a while to find the right fit, right? You still needed someone who understood your background and your culture. Once you received the help and you saw the positive benefits, how it affected your life, you then started to go out and help others. I like that about your story, and that's really something that I want to like delve into a little bit about. One person helps another person once they feel a little bit more. I don't want to say that their life is perfect, but there's something about wanting to give back and helping others.
Okay. That's pretty heavy. The reason, as it started off as just for me, helping me getting back on my feet, the reason I decided to actually wanting to help others back into their feet and feel who we are as human beings before being the citizen, the wife, the whatever it is. The reason why, because I really suffered. I suffered through my misunderstandings. I suffered through my fears. I suffered through my lack of confidence. We know, because I was so confident, but I don't want to portray anyone here bad, but all this, all this event had me look at me closer and really facing me. And I'm going to share something with you. Not, not everything we face can be changed, but nothing can be changed unless it's faced, right?
I like that.
So I didn't know that. So I want to give the community and people and women especially, like myself, that been through situations like this, that there is hope out there. Mm-hmm. It's not merely your fault. It's not you. You probably didn't know how to express yourself. You were not in touch with your emotions. You were feeling guilt, shame, because you wanted to speak for yourself. Mm-hmm. And all this, we don't get it in school. We just don't. We really don't. I mean, if I had to do my life over, I would study by all, like really outside whatever, the academical stuff, but really about emotional intelligence, because we are emotionally ignorant. Believe it or not, I don't care. You can be intellectual, you can be, successful, but there is always something inside you that's missing. And that missing part, it's your core.
Yes.
How
Yes.
can you go further?
Yes, it is deep self. I think at one point that there was a big discussion over emotional intelligence, and I don't know, somehow it fell by the wayside. But you are absolutely correct. Being in educational field myself, I do feel that we tend not to. We do more surfacey stuff with our children.
There you go.
But yes, and I think oftentimes also people want to just put it on the parents, right? But remembering that children are not interacting, especially when they're school age, not just interacting with their family, they're interacting with the world. And we need to prepare them very early on to deal emotionally with different aspects of the world. I'm curious about how long did this process take you, though? Once you recognized that, as you started meeting with a coach and, you went there for one thing, concerning the changes that you were going through in your life, and then you sort of delve in deeper to see the things that were lacking that was preventing you from moving forward. How long did this work take?
First of all, I want to really emphasize on the fact that yes, the coach does guide you, and she did help me, but I also did the work on my own because there is also accountability in place. She's going to guide you, she's going to give you exercises, but you need to be accountable. And you need to do the work. You need to do the dirty work on your own. It's not like an instant or a magic formula. It's a pill that you swallow and you become all of a sudden happy and cheerful. That's not how it works. And you need to be responsible and honest toward yourself. You can't just say, okay, brush it off. And no, well, she told me this and I'm going to just repeat it. You have to do the work. So the process altogether, I think it's a lifetime process. I don't think it's a limited process. We all under constructions, and we're going to stay under construction because we are so complex human being. We're the dynamic and the way we are. It's just something that I don't think we can reach a limit, or there's always time of improvement. There's always time of, shedding off layers of BS, excuse me,
Yes.
And it's hard to unlearn. And like the popular BS, they said you need to learn. You actually need to unlearn. You get me?
Yes.
Because it's rooted in you.
Right.
And you've always believed that's it. That's the way it should be. But guess what? It's not. And we're not very, very comfortable with change.
Stay tuned for the next episode when Majida shares some of her coaching tips and strategies.